with the changes that they've got afoot. Maybe this gives them a chance to hit the reset button, go cool your heels for a little bit, and have a full preseason camp and get ready for the Serie A season.
Inter Milan, though, I mean, it continues. We saw them absolutely drubbed by PSG in the final of the Champions League, and it's been a rough summer recently. Where does Inter go from here? Because this is maybe a little bit of a shocking result, to be honest with you.
I'm going to use a couple of boxing analogies here because both in this game and overall for Inter Milan, you know, sometimes when you're the bully and you get knocked out, and other people see you get knocked. They used to say that Mike Tyson walked into the ring, already had the fight won before he stepped into the ring because everybody was intimidated. And then he suffers a big loss to Buster Douglas, and all of a sudden other guys are lining up to fight him. The way that Inter Milan took it on the chin in that Champions League final, albeit to a great team in PSG, they don't look to me like they're quite the same. It looks to me like it took some swagger away from that side, and I'm wondering if they're still reeling a little bit of that. And to take another boxing analogy, with the start of this match today, to me it looked like Fluminense was a side that came out swinging at the opening bell. And Inter were not ready for the intensity. When you look at the match momentum, for the first 10 minutes of that match, I mean, they landed a big punch, obviously, right off the bat by scoring the goal. And it seemed to me like everything was just a touch slow from Inter Milan, particularly in the middle of the park. It was almost like they were surprised at the intensity with which Fluminense came out of the gate. And I don't know what was going on with Sommer in this match. There were a couple of different times, particularly the goal, obviously, to open up the game, where he just seemed frozen on his line, a little hesitant. He was so great in Champions League. I was stunned to see that today.
He was not good today.
Yeah, you got to give credit to Fluminense, first of all, because of the way they came out with so much intensity. And then they saw the thing out the rest of the way. But something seems to be missing a little bit to me from this Inter Milan side right now.
And I mean, new manager now, and Christian Kivu coming over, and then Inzaghi leaves to go to Al Hilal, who's playing Manchester City in the quarterfinals of the Club World Cup. This was supposed to be maybe a chance to right the ship or feel a lot better now going into Serie A coming up in the fall. And I don't think they got there in this Club World Cup.
If you want to take a positive spin on it, maybe the fact that they're going home now and they can have a little bit of a break and actually have a full run-up in their preseason. Because as you mentioned, when you have a managerial change, that means that different ideas are going to come into the mix. You want to sort those ideas out in the preseason camp when you're getting ready to go through this, trying to win back the Scudetto after losing by 1 point this year to Napoli. I do wonder what's going to happen to the sides that make a deep run, because if you do that, you're going to be missing out on some of your preseason training camps. So maybe if you want to look on the positive side for Inter Milan, changes that they've got afoot, maybe this gives them a chance to hit the reset button, go cool your heels for a little bit, and have a full preseason camp and get ready for the Serie A season coming up.
And also, there's a lot still to be done. The transfer window just opened, so there are going to be changes here, and obviously Kivu, with a full preseason now even longer, potentially, is going to get a chance to instill what he wants to do. But on the field, Inter, did they improve? Did you see any type of improvement so far this summer?
I don't know that you can say that you can, but I think part of the reason is because when you look at the different teams that they're competing against in this competition, it's one of the reasons I actually am really liking this Club World Cup is you get to see, aside from Liga MX, go up against a side from Serie A.
Yeah, I mean, when would you have seen Fluminense Inter besides this?
But how do you evaluate what this Inter Milan side is going to look like against Roma by judging how they played against Monterrey? Look at me rolling my R's here, by the way. I'm really proud of myself for that.
Yeah.
It's my only skill. So I don't know that I can take too many ironclad conclusions away from this from Inter Milan. But what I do want to say is we've got to make sure that we give our credit to these Brazilian sides, because they are the one country that's come into this Club World Cup and, to me, made a real statement on the positive side. We saw the Argentinian sides do the exact opposite, right? I think they really showed us how far Argentinian football has fallen from a club perspective. But I think the Brazilian side, from the fan bases, and then also not just two teams advancing, I thought all the teams, when it came to group play, showed themselves very well. And that's a big win for Fluminense. And the money that's going to come in now as well allows you maybe either keep some players or bring some more players in. well done to the Brazilian sides.
That's my takeaway, right? I mean, they have dominated the storyline in so many different ways with the support, with the type of play that we have seen on the field. And two teams in the quarterfinals, Fluminense, of course, one of them, along with Palmeiras. What impressed you about what Fluminense was able to do against an European giant?
I mean, and as I said, I think that mindset of coming out of the gates ready to go in this match was the thing that I took away the most from the game. They were ready for the intensity that they were going to be playing with at the beginning. And maybe that caught Inter Milan off guard a little bit because, there's been so much conversation about the weather, and rightfully so. This is a game being played at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in a sun-drenched, Charlotte, North Carolina.
It's 90 degrees with 60% humidity.
And
That's
so
tough.
maybe as a side in Inter, you're thinking, okay, everybody's going to kind of ease their way into this game, and we don't want to expend ourselves too early in the match because there's no way we can do this for 90 minutes. Fluminense, to me, had a different attitude when they came into this game. By the end of it, Inter Milan had the vast majority of the possession, but I think Fluminense, they played a very pragmatic game. They got that lead. They sent a message to Inter early, and then they didn't give up much when it came to chances. I mean, you look at the shot creation, you look at the expected goals, there wasn't that much. We saw the one real good chance from Lautaro Martinez that hit the post. But outside of that, there weren't very many times where I thought, boy, Fluminense are really under the pressure right now. They managed the game incredibly well, I thought.
And now it sets up a really difficult matchup, potentially. I mean, it could be Manchester City, it could be Al Hilal, but we will just have to see who comes out of that one. And it's going to be very interesting how well these Brazilian teams do against some excellent European competition coming up. But already we know Fluminense has conquered Inter Milan. So one check mark in the book, no doubt about that.